Danny Thomas. And Jean Hagen as his wife. And Sherry Jackson and Wesley Hamer as their children. Make room for Daddy.
When do we arrive in Toledo?
9:45 in the morning. See what a wonderful feeling it is to be invited back to your own hometown to make a speech. I want to show you something. This is the house where I was raised on the north side. You know, last year they put a bronze plaque on that house.
What did the plaque say?
2 miles to the Walbridge Park Zoo.
Doesn't look like much of a house.
Oh, you're just judging it by the outside. Inside there were 10 of us children, and to each of us there was a palace. My father was a king. He sold hay, but he was a king.
10 children? You must have had to sell a lot of hay.
He sure did, son. He was quite a man. We kids worship my father. You know, it's always been my hope. Someday I'd have children who look up to me like I looked up to my father. What did I get? A daughter who thinks I'm a square from Squaresville, and a son in the second grade who thinks already he's 2 years ahead of me in education. Come on, let's get to bed. I promised your mother you'd be asleep by 8:30, so come on.
I sure wish Mother could have come with us.
Well, honey, Grandma's not feeling well. Mommy had to stay with her. Besides, I wanted you to come with me. I want you to meet some of the folks that knew me when I was a child.
Were you a child?
No, I was born full-grown with a Social Security number. All right, let's get to sleep.
Oh, please, Daddy. Just a few more pictures first.
No, it's too late.
If you show us some more pictures, we'll let you sleep in a lower berth.
That's another thing. When we were kids, we'd never think of making our father sleep in an upper.
Okay, Pop, okay.
Okay, Pop, okay. I spoke to my father, I used to say, Tahat amrak ya Sidi.
What's that?
It's Arabic, and it means that's your beck and call, master. It's a sign of respect, and believe me, we meant it.
Tahat, Umrak, Yasidi?
Tahat amrak ya Sidi.
Tahat Amrak Yasidi.
That's it.
Oh, brother, all I have to do is go around saying that, and they'll throw me in the booby hat.
Never mind. Now, come on, jump into bed.
Please, a few more pictures.
Oh, all right, come on. Just a couple more. We got to get to sleep. I want to show you one in particular, anyhow, otherwise I wouldn't give in. There's one here, the old swimming hole. There it is. Charlie and I used to go fishing there all the time.
Who's Charlie?
Charlie Patrick, my best friend. We used to sell newspapers together down by the depot. Gosh, what a guy Charlie was. We were a great combination, you know. Really a wonderful man, Charlie. Going on now, he's circulation manager of the Toledo Blade, Charlie Patrick.
He's the man who wrote to Daddy about making a speech to the newsboys on how to be a success. Why'd he write to Daddy?
Because I sent him a self-addressed stamped envelope. Boy, what loving children I've got.
Who's that man standing there watching you fish?
That? Oh, that's Charlie's father. Here's a picture of the library. Charlie and I used to always go to the library after school. Ever tell you about the time Charlie ran 95 yards for a touchdown in the grammar school playoffs? The time he hit 4 home runs in one game. Wonderful.
What did you do?
What did I do? Just handed him his bat, that's all.
What's so great about that?
Well, I'd like to see you hit 4 home runs without a bat. Come on, jump into bed. That's enough of this. What's so great about that? All right, get to sleep. Why don't you hang your things up? Mr. Daniel Williams. My dear Mr. Williams, will you kindly stop by this afternoon to discuss a report from Miss Rogers, your son's teacher, that on a number of occasions he has thrown spitballs at her. I believe such conduct on the part of a child must have its roots in the home. Sincerely, Owen D. Carmichael, Principal. Bessie. Rusty, come on, don't play possum with me. I know you're faking. You get up here.
Gee, it always works when you do it to Mommy.
Why didn't you give me this letter when we were home?
I thought it would be safer to give it to you in Toledo.
I'm disappointed in you. I had great plans for you. I wanted you to go on to high school and to college and graduate with honors. You keep this up, the only degree you're going to get is a BS, Bachelor of Spitballs. Now, why did you do it?
Tubby dared me, and I didn't want to be a sissy.
Tubby dared you. Why can't you be like your sister? Why you don't see her aggravate me like you?
You pay her to be good. You gave her $2 spending money before we left.
That's because she's a responsible citizen. She knows what to do with money. What would you have done with the $2 I'd given it to you?
Spend it for candy?
That's what I thought. Not your sister. She put it in her purse. She's keeping it for a rainy day.
I'll bet.
I'll show you, young fellow. I say something, I know what I'm talking. Harry!
Terry, wake up. It's a rainy day.
You be quiet. Harry, I just don't know what to say about this.
Don't say anything, Spanker.
I don't know. My father knew how to raise children. 10 of us, we never gave him this kind of trouble. I got 2, I can't control them. My father wouldn't even have noticed 2 children. Boy, oh boy.
Daddy, will you please sing us to sleep?
Oh, be quiet.
Please?
What?
Sing us to sleep.
What a politician you are. Been years since you asked me to sing you to sleep.
We wouldn't ask you now if we had our portable radio.
Gentlemen of the press, I address you thus, for though you are...
For though today you are.
For though today you are but...
Only newsboys.
For though today you are only newsboys, who knows but that tomorrow you may not follow in...
Might not.
Who knows that tomorrow you might not follow in the footsteps...
And the steps.
In the steps of other newsboys and go on to greater...
Who went on, please? Who went on?
Who knows that you might not follow in the footsteps of other newsboys who went on to greener fields? Men like Grover Cleveland, Theodore Roosevelt, our own Charlie Patrick, and my humble self.
Attaboy, Pop. Talking with that humility.
Never mind. Pay attention to the speech. I leave you with 3 rules to follow. First, honor your father and your mother. Second, choose good companions. And third, through diligence and hard work in school, acquire that knowledge without which success is impossible.
When do we eat?
Will you give me a chance to learn the speech?
Yes, it is. The same Danny Williams.
Wait a minute, don't tell me. I know you. I just...
You do that again, Danny Williams, and you'll stay after school.
Miss Whitaker! Miss Whitaker, my old 6th grade teacher. How are you, dear? How well I remember the 6th grade.
Well, you should. You were in it for 3 years.
Cute.
You know, when I heard you were in town, I just had to drop in and tell you how proud I am of you.
Thank you. That's really very nice.
Danny Williams, a big success.
Oh, well.
And do you know, it's very gratifying to me as a teacher, because after all, you only came to class when it rained.
That was That was a year we had a lot of rain, wasn't it? So these are my children, Rusty and Terry. Miss Whitaker, my sixth grade teacher.
How do you
Hello. Well, they are good looking. Well, I guess there isn't as much in heredity as the biology teachers would have us believe.
Leave it to Miss Whitaker to say what she's thinking.
After all, you've had many a piece of my mind.
Oh, well.
Not that I didn't have a soft spot for you, because after all, what boy doesn't throw spitballs?
Yeah, what boy doesn't?
Yeah, what boy doesn't?
Won't you sit down, Miss Whitaker, and tell me, are there any folks left at the school that I used to know?
Well, they're nearly all gone.
Oh.
But, Mr. Mahoney, the janitor, he's still with us.
Oh, Mahoney, say, there's a real nice fella.
Oh, your father was so good to Mr. Mahoney. One time, he gave him the last $2 he made selling newspapers. And do you know why?
Oh, yeah, he
gave
was
him
a real
those
poor
$2?
man.
I still think it was a lot of money to give to Mr. Mahoney just for signing your father's name to your report card.
You knew it all the time?
Oh, yes. I even told your father.
You did? What did Papa say?
He said, why didn't you come to me? I could have used the $2. And I'll never forget the time I caught you and three other
Miss
boys.
Miss Whitaker, I have to get ready. I must make a speech. You'll forgive me. I don't mean to rush you, but, you know.
Oh, yes, I have to go, but it's been nice to reminisce. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye. And thank you very much.
Such lovely children. You must have a beautiful wife.
Now, what you just heard, you know, you mustn't pay any attention to it.
Danny! Don't you remember me?
Mr. Pennycheck, my fourth grade teacher.
Hey, wait. Now you know me.
Oh, yeah, Sammy Lewis, the bookkeeper.
Here, I'll give you a hint. 8-ball in a side pocket.
Charlie Patrick!
Hey, how
This is Charlie Patrick, my very dear friend I was telling you about.
Pleased to meet you. Any child of Danny's is a child of mine.
Gee, I hardly recognize you, Charlie. I mean, you were a kid. You were sort of sensitive looking. I mean, did you have your face lifted or something?
Lifted, dropped, stepped out, pushed in, everything.
Sit down. Boy, it's good to see you.
Did you really hit 4 home runs in one game?
Sure.
How did you ever do it?
Oh, clean living, lots of practice. And my brother pitching for the other team.
Good old Charlie, always making with the jokes. What a sense of humor.
What sense of humor? You remember my brother Herman?
Yeah.
Gee, I'll never forget that football game when he missed a tackle so I could run 95 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, that was kind of a practical joke they pulled. How's Herman doing these days?
Oh, fine.
Glad to hear it.
He's getting out any day now.
Say, Charlie, I was showing the kids some pictures. I wanted you to see some. The old days. Oh, you've seen these. I showed them to you the other day. Remember? The old
yeah.
swimming hole? Huh?
There's you, and there's me.
And there's your father in the middle.
Whose father?
Yours?
That's the truant officer.
Charlie, you might be mistaken.
How could I be? We saw him almost every day.
Charlie!
Oh, yeah, that's my father. You see, my father was the truant officer.
And there's some other...
Oh, there's the library where you used to spend most of your time.
Library?
Sure, we used to go there every day after school, remember?
Oh, yeah. Hey, this is the library.
What'd I tell you?
Yes, the library. We used to always go to the library. It was a shortcut to the pool room.
That's enough of the pictures. You kids go on along and look at them. Well, Charlie, old boy, I guess I gotta get upstairs and make my speech now.
Yeah, you know, we got half the newsboys in Toledo up in our banquet room waiting to hear you.
Well, I'm glad to hear it, and it's gonna be a great thrill talking to those kids, too. No, my memory goes back to when you and I were on the streets and yelling out, extra, baby!
Extra, extra!
Hey, time!
Get your Toledo playing, extra!
That was many years ago.
Many, many years ago.
Yeah. Just think now I'm in show business, and they're a big success in the newspaper business. See, when I got that letter, and I saw that, the heading, Circulation Department, Toledo Blaze, signed by you. I just didn't believe it was the same Charlie Patrick.
It was me, all right.
That's really something. You know, you never were a bright kid in school, yet somehow I knew you always had the drive to make good.
Me make good?
Well, Charlie, if you think being circulation manager of the Toledo...
Danny, you don't think I'm the circulation manager.
But on the letterhead, it said Office of the Circulation Manager. You are with the Circulation Department, aren't you?
Oh, sure. But I ain't the manager.
Oh, well, assistant manager. Assistant to the assistant manager? What do you do on the paper?
X-ray, get your Toledo plane. X-ray, get your Toledo plane.
You mean you're still selling papers?
I got a new corner now, Danny.
But the letter...
Oh, the letter. I asked the boys to let me write to you. We were pals so long, you see. I said, Danny ain't the type of a guy that would forget. And you didn't. You come right up here. I'm kind of proud of you, kid. Proud that you didn't forget your old pal. Well, I guess it's time for you to make your big speech. I better get back to the table before some bummer swipe my fruit salad. See you later, Tim.
Wait a minute, Charlie. How about sitting up at the head table with me?
Why, you get better food up there?
No, Charlie, it makes me kind of proud that you didn't forget your old pal. My fellow newsboys, I had a big speech all prepared on how I became a success, but I've decided not to use it. I can sum up the reasons for my success in 3 little words. I was lucky. You know, it's true, I made a few dollars, but I don't believe, like a lot of people do, that success is associated with money. This is not true. And that point was driven home to me late this afternoon when I saw my old 6th grade teacher, Miss Whitaker. Now, you know, school teachers don't make a lot of money. Miss Whitaker is a real success. She's still teaching, still helping to mold youngsters into good, clean living, solid citizens of tomorrow. I feel so ashamed of myself when I stop to think of what a trouble I used to cause Miss Whitaker in the 6th grade. You know, it was during the era of the gangster movies, when all of us kids wanted to be tough guys. I remember once in history class, Miss Whitaker said to me, Danny, tell us what you know about George Washington. I said, go on, I ain't talking, I ain't no stool pigeon. and Benji Schwartz, we got to call him Bogey Schwartz. He was the toughest kid in the neighborhood. I remember one time he went home to his mother. He said, Ma, does the good Lord give us our daily bread? His mother said, of course. He said, does Santa Claus give me my bicycle? His mother said, certainly. He said, and does the stork bring the little babies? His mother said, yes. He said, why don't you let me bump off the old man? We don't need him. My mother was a big success. Yet she had no money. She was rich in love and understanding. She was, in effect, a wealthy woman. She had 10 children. I remember when I was a little kid, we were very poor, but very poor. And Mom was always scrimping and saving. The first day I went to school, my mother made a pair of pants for me out of my father's old vest. I was the only kid in kindergarten with 11 buttons down the back. And a watch fob hanging from my knee. My father was a big success. Never made over $50 a week in his life. But my father was rich in the respect and obedience from his children. Oh, he was a stickler for obedience. Of course, they raised kids a little differently in my day. Today, we use psychology. Today, if we don't want the kid to stay out late, we say, don't forget, don't stay out too late, honey. Come in early, dear. We keep repeating it. We figure if the kid hears it many times, he'll obey. My father had the system for getting me in early. If I wasn't in by 9 o'clock, he'd rent out my room. My father was a smart man. He knew a lot of things. I remember once I wanted to get a job in the post office. My father said, never. What do you mean you want to get a job in the post office? It's a waste of time. Even after you learn the business, they won't let you open your own post office. So I got a job selling papers for the Toledo Blade. Speaking of selling papers, there's a big success right here in this room. Charlie Patrick. Nobody could sell papers like Charlie Patrick. I mean, he always knew how to fix up the headlines. If there wasn't a great one, he'd make one. I remember once there was a headline that said, government urges workers to support bonds. Nice patriotic headline, but it doesn't sell papers. Charlie fixed it real good. He was yelling, government urges workers to support blondes. Sold a lot of papers. Also a few bottles of peroxide. You know, fellas, education is very important. You kids are in school. Don't think about the day when you can quit and get out. Go on to college. Beyond college. Learn, cram, learn as much as you can. And if you want it bad enough, you can get it. Education is a wonderful thing. I have an uncle, my Uncle Fred. Started right here in this town as a garbage collector. Went to night school for 6 years and finally got a college diploma. And today, he is the only garbage collector in Toledo with a college education. Believe me, he's very proud of that diploma. And he's proud of his job. And that's the whole secret, fellas. It's not what you do to make an honest living that counts. It's how well you do it. There was a poem written by a fellow named Douglas Mallock that paints a very beautiful picture on this subject matter of doing your job well. And it goes like this. If you can't be a pine on the top of a hill, be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub on the side of the rill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. And if you can't be a bush, be a blade of grass, some highway happier make. If you can't be a muskie, then just be a bass, but be the liveliest bass in the lake. If you can't be a highway, then just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or you fail. So be the best of whatever you are. And whatever you do, fellas, whatever career you choose, I wish you every success. And God willing, you will have that success. And when you do attain and achieve it, I want you all to be proud. Proud as I am proud that you were once Toledo newsboys. Come on, let's go. Would you please, when you get on the train, take your things off and go right to bed?
Tahat Amarati Atindi. At your beck and call, Master.